In this live stream, OpusClip AI Producer cut my YouTube Shorts editing time in half. We're talking about how Opus's brand new product, AI Producer, which is what we're going to call it moving forward, is focused on empowering creators with AI. It is here to assist, not replace. And that's some use case I'm really passionate about. If you're just joining us here, you can sign up for AI Producer for free in the link in the description down below. Opus did sponsor this stream. That is an affiliate link, just in full transparency. So we are going to get started. I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see a little bit of AI Producer. If you have any questions as we go along, feel free to ask. Really here to have some fun, do a lot. So just wanted to take this moment to say thanks, everyone. Testing out some stuff, really excited to see what we have here today. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to the stage, and in fact I'm probably going to put myself over here. This is pretty much where I will live for now, and I might move it throughout the stream. So if you've not seen AI Producer so far, this is what it looks like. This is discovering what's possible. You can see John Ushai, you can see a couple of other channels here, friend of the channel Nick Nimmin. You can see that they have some templates for you. They have some limitations of what it can do. It needs to be under 5 minutes at the time of this recording. And then it also, best with one person talking. You can set what's known as your brand style. So what this is going to do for you is help you be organized. I have some of our brand colors. If you have a logo, you can upload it. You can even have a hidden buddy. So there is, Swanlaufen and Buzz. I think I'll pick Swanlaufen. It is important that this will not actually show up in your edited products. It's just for a little bit of fun. And then you can see it around the keyboard. If you do not want that, you can turn it off. But, like when things have a little bit of fun. So I want to go ahead and upload a piece of content. Now, you could just traditionally upload it, which is more than fine, or you can drag and drop. Now, I will be transparent. I think that this product is a lot of fun. It is something that if you already know how to edit, or even if you're not good at editing, it's something that I keep hearing is, I want to do YouTube. I just don't know how to edit, or I don't even know how to get started with it. So this is a really good way for you to get started if you are struggling. Look, I know how to edit, and I actually time myself to do some of the things we're going to show off. And it takes a lot of time. Not that it's not worth it, but I also want to note that you can upload video files in either horizontal 16:9 or 9:16. For the sake of this example, I think I'll do a 16:9 just so that I can kind of show what it looks like. So you're going to upload it, and then you can see the source video. It'll show you it is in 16:9. This is just a video I chopped up before. You can then, because I know we have some questions, you might have, some more questions for it. So I've drag and dropped. You can see the source video. That is what I look like. You can see that there's some smart models. If you're like, what is it using? It's using Claude, GPT, Claude Sonnet 4.6, GPT 5.6 Soul, and then balanced. So it says each of these are using different quality. It says smart model can use what's that. So if you're wondering what it's using, I'll go ahead and use that. From the templates, I want to make sure that I just, one, have the full screen here for you. But two, I want to make sure that as you're looking through and seeing, this is what I selected. If I want to change it, I can change the model at any time. I'm just going to pick this one. You can do 9:16 or 16:9, so YouTube Shorts, or heck, even normal videos. And then you can do things like add captions. So add clean, accurate captions to my video, fix any transcription error, break the lines naturally, and keep them readable on mobile without covering my face. Very good thing there. You can do a polished talking head. So maybe you just upload your video, right? Layer and B-roll overlays, animated captions, sound effects. One thing that they are very keen on, and I want to make sure that I take this moment to address, is that this is not technically, unless you want it to, going to generate anything creative. It is going to create, and what I mean by that is it's not going to generate art per se. It's going to make graphs. It's going to make a lot of stuff, but it's not that at this point in time, and you can really control what you do. So as we go back, I want this polish my talking head video into produce piece, layer and B-roll overlays, animated captions, sound effects, and background music to bring it to life. Or if you have just filmed a rough cut, assemble my footage into a rough cut, drop only clear drop only the clearly unusable takes, long pauses, flubs, false starts, and put what's left in a sensible order. So if you need help with just a rough cut and you're getting started, this is huge. But I've already gone ahead and edited just the bits where I want this to be a video. So I'm going to go ahead, create now. Now, if while you're waiting, what you're going to see is that there is this chat over here. This is my untitled. You'll see that it is putting it in the project here. At any time, I can collapse the left-hand side. I can also expand by clicking there. You can see there are commands here, and it's going to go ahead and take a look at my video. Now, here's the fun part about doing it live. I've not seen this video, but I have seen the others. So you can see that there's a lot you can do. It says that you can learn to edit. So if you're wondering what can I do, we will cover that. But you can also click some slash command if you want to see some of what it can do. So if you've added a logo, you can see everything it's showing here. If you want to have image full screen, you can get a preview of everything. You can, it's giving me a prompt, which is why it overtook that. It's saying how much would I want to clean up, keep it as is, nothing is cut. I can say a light touch, clean only the stumbles. Standard, keep as is what I'm going to pick, but you have a lot of options, or I could type something else. I'm going to keep this as is. And again, if I can, while we're focusing on this, if you're just getting started, maybe you didn't have time to edit, maybe you're doing a stream like I am, and you want to take a moment from your live streams and repurpose them to higher quality. That's something you can do. Just cut out the segment you want. It'll add based on what we say. It uses the transcript to know how to add these different features, and it gives you a usable video. So you could be recording a live streaming like I am at the time of this, and if you're watching the replay, thanks for watching. And then I can make polished 16:9 or 9:16 shorts. And it saved me a lot of time. So I really want to make sure we talk about that. Now, one thing I see here is from Beanie. Can you sort of ask it to edit for tone, like professional versus personal tone? Beanie, that's where a human editor is still required. You could try. It's still new, but I would say try it for yourself. See what you can get out of it. For this example, we are just focusing pretty much on what it can do and giving a decent overview of that. So if you want, you could tell it any time, like I showed in that dropdown, can you try it for a more personal tone? And this is where you can still edit it as it's being edited. Don't think you can't still talk to it, can't still do things. So as we're going through, we can still use our slash commands. We can pick our font, we can do our custom colors, we can customize it because we've already selected some of those colors before. You can pick your font or upload your own in the brand earlier. And you can get an idea of what all these effects look like. I really like the caption effects. I like a lot of them. There's scribbling, there is editorial quotes, there's like a follow you could have where it says follow you on different ones. You can have pop-up, you could do like code blocks, you could do a diagram, you could do like a green screen cut, you can do a frame out cut, and you can see what it looks like. You can do different animations and all of these things. The good part of it is anyone could do this at any time. Now, because I've already done some of these, I'm going to go ahead and switch to one that is a talking head, and you get an idea of some of the work I've already done here. So I am going to be a little quiet, and I'm going to unmute so you can see what I've been working on. Now, you can zoom in. At any time, if I want to make a change, I can select to edit. I can screenshot, I can tell it, or I can edit as we go. Let's hit play. YouTube has really been focusing a lot on thumbnails. We recently got 4K thumbnails and now multiple language thumbnails. This is in addition to multiple language audio tracks where you can upload your own dubs or try auto dubbing, which lets your content be translated to multiple languages with the help of some AI. When it comes to multiple language thumbnails, this is from YouTube directly. For long form videos, you can upload thumbnails in different languages. This is a powerful way to expand your global reach without creating and managing multiple separate channels. This is great because I learned when I attended KidScreen directly from a YouTube partner presentation that on YouTube, 80% of watch time comes from outside. But looking at this, like the graph, right? Like if I want to change something, I have the option. I can just drag. If I want to change this font, if I want to change this font color, maybe I want it to be a different color. I can change that. I can make it pop a little bit more. I'll put it back to white. I can say, put the source. I could maybe make that a little bit clearer. I can edit, or I can add it to chat and tell it to do it for me. Another thing I could do, and this is another effect, all of these effects are here. You can zoom in to see where they are. And if you go back to what it's done, it's made key ideas, made to visuals, it's done captions, it's added sound effects and music. So all of a sudden it's doing all of these things for me. So we can edit this, right? If I want to make this maybe a little differently. This is it over a globe. I talk about it being a global platform. So I asked it in chat, where could you make this over a globe? You can see, I even told it, add a quote for this segment where I quoted exactly what it said. And it did that well. You can see there is other things I gave a direction, right? I said, I want to see when global is mentioned, it should be over a globe, not over the talking head subject, which is this. And it did that. It's really cool. And to go ahead and quickly answer some of the questions I'm seeing in the chat, we have this from Beanie. Ooh, can it manually select music on its own? It can. It does audio fixing as well, doesn't it? It does. It can. In some of the options you select, you can ask it to. I find it's pretty decent, but the stuff you're hearing, I already edited the audio just for the demo purpose, but it is something it can do. Now, the one I'm showing you, your eagle-eyed viewers and eagle-eyed noticed that it is currently not exactly where we left it. It's not a 16:9, but what if I told you I had already edited it in 16:9? And notice how it's doing different effects comparatively. This is a different effect because it is a different sign. And look at this, you can still see my face, and it's tracking with what the audio is. Original track, original language, source, dubs, auto dubbing. It is making these graphs. And this is something I could do, and it's giving an idea of how this works in a list format. And it's giving really decent graphics. And let's say I want this just to hit a little bit longer. I could go in and make these, but I could also, I thought I could get it to extend. I could add this to chat and say, this is a great example. Can you be specific? Always. I like this. Can you make this just a few seconds longer? Send, and it'll work on that. So this is one of those things. And Beanie, this goes for any, and this is not for AI. I see Beanie says, I'm editing a video from 10 years ago about audio quality, so it'll be interesting. All these tools can only do so much. How you record it going in is what matters the most. No tool truly can recover something that wasn't recorded perfectly. That's why they always say, try to do your best to get it right the first time. It'll do its best, but it's no guarantee. So that's something that it's not unique to this tool. That's pretty much all of them. But as we go back, you'll see that's preparing the workspace. And you can also see that while this one is going, it's preparing our media, it's transcribing my video, it's cleaning up the takes if needed, it might cross this, and it's been doing this for 6 minutes and 39 seconds. Now, the beauty of this is I can still be talking to you. I can still be making changes to this as we're going on here. And so when we see these different things, you know, we have these different graphs, these are stuff that I could make on my own, but it would take me, on average, I went ahead and did some of what it looked like, you know, to make these stuff. On average, it takes me about anywhere between 20 to 30 minutes, right? And if we look at how many it's added, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All of a sudden, if I were to do the math, for me to manually make each of these by hand, which I could do, but that would slow me down and it wouldn't be as high quality. I can still edit this in AI Producer. Don't think that this is what you have to keep. I showed that a little bit earlier. But, you know, 8 times 20, well, 20 minutes, let's use that as our base. If I've hit 8 items, well, 6 20-minute blocks is 2 hours. So it would take me 2 hours and 40 minutes to do this stuff. And within that 2 hour and 40 minutes, I could be doing a lot of other things. Not that I don't love editing, but I don't always have the time to give every piece of content the stuff I want. And with tools like this, it makes it easier than ever. Good to see you, Kenneth Racing. Good to see you, Tish. And look, it's doing stuff for me right now in the background. And if we look at the short I am going to actually publish, which is this one, it did a lot based on what I told it to do, and I could still make changes. And this effect, these are some of the countries I told it to do. It's crazy how quick it's able to do this. And what would take me a lot longer, it's able to help me do this. And this lets me worry about my performance. It lets me focus on what I'm saying to my viewers. And it's giving me that freedom. And while it's polishing, you'll notice that we are doing this in both the 9:16 format, the 16:9 format, and make no mistake, you're not limited when you're live streaming now just to using the incredible OpusClip product. Not that it's limiting at all, but you can now make even better stuff with AI Producer. It uses the same system. So if you just want quick shorts, there's OpusClip. If you want a little more editing, there's AI Producer. It takes that limit and makes it way more open, and I love it. And it's very, very interesting too. I see Beanie says, I'm very interested in the concept of video editing via prompt and rather than traditional cutting. And that's the thing. A lot of times creators know what they want, but they don't know what to search. They don't know what to describe it. And I look at this as I could edit it this way. I could also give this to my editor and they could even make it better. So it's one of those situations, and this is a conversation I really want to talk about. On average, when I talk to new creators, I would say easily 70% of them say the hardest barrier to entry is that they do not know how to edit content. They want to, but they don't even know where to start. There's a lot of options. What OpusClip AI Producer does is while you're practicing talking to camera, learning your lighting, learning everything, you can talk to it in a chat format for up to 5 minutes at the time. You can also do YouTube shorts if you keep them less. And then you're learning video editing and learning what these terms are called. Maybe start looking them up for yourself. When I talk to creators, a lot of them are like, I'll never use it. And that's fine. I always have said, use what works for you. The thing is though, I look at content creation and editing like this. There are some people who love to cook. They are incredible home chefs. Me, I cook out of necessity. I much prefer eating out at a nicer restaurant, and I prefer people who are professionals doing it. A lot of people see editing that way. Not everyone, and I understand that. But there's always going to be people who like to go out and eat, and there are always going to be people who want to do it themselves. This tool doesn't limit how you as an individual creator do things. I've talked to editors who've used this, and it's speeding them up for their client work. So at the end of the day, when you're using any tool, and in this case I'm using OpusClip's AI Producer, it's how you use it, what you enjoy doing it. And for me, you will see that I'm using it to increase my productivity. I looked into it. This can help me on the hours saved, increase my productivity and output by, obviously, I was doing it. It was probably 75 to 90%. That's a huge increase for me. And with tools like this, I still hire editors. I still work with them. But I rather them work on the long form content where when I'm making shorts or I'm doing things myself, it can be in the background while I do other tasks, while I work on other things. And that's why I like OpusClip AI Producer. And while I've been doing that, I want to make sure we take a look at this. We're running this on the talking head. It's planning the visuals. It's gathering B-roll. It's building my preview. This has been running for 12 minutes of this live stream. You can see the other talking head polish. You know, it's still designing my visuals. It gives you a little bit of the time it takes. And look, the thing is, in the past, if I wanted to do this kind of editing while in a live stream, I would have to take time out of the stream, go over to my editing software, do it, and there's nothing wrong with it. I still edit my stuff anyway. But I think when it comes to this, I want to leave this question to you watching, whether you're live or in the replay. What are your thoughts on time saving like this? This is stuff anyone could do. All of us could learn to edit this and take our time. But for me, when I did the time saving and I started looking at how much time it takes, I take a long time, and this helps me get there faster. So I'm always curious what people think. And the whole point of AI Producer is to hopefully speed up and keep you in control. That's the beauty of it. So that's really why I want your thoughts on this. Now you can see what it's doing here. You know, I was wondering if it could make a video 9:16. It couldn't. That's fine. It can do quite a lot. It's designing the visuals, creating the visuals. The other one is writing the cut. You can see no references. It's doing a lot, actually. It's gathering B-roll, building the preview. And if there's something you want that the initial didn't do, as I mentioned earlier, you can tell it with the visual selector here. If there's a visual you like as you're going through and you're like, ooh, I want to try using that. Like the text highlight card here is pretty cool. Maybe I want to use that. The lower thirds, if you don't know how to do a lower third, it can do that for you. Comment composer. It gives you another way you can do things. It can pull up a follow thing for you. It can do an intro card for you. You could have a chart stat poster, which is cool. All of these things you could learn, and what it's helping you do is better understand some of the technical stuff you may not know about and help you do it. Because honestly, the barrier to content creation for a lot of people is the knowledge to learn to do it and time. But people have a lot to say. I've talked to so many creators who have incredible stories that they just don't have the editing chops to do their main content and then shorts and then another thing. But now, if you're live streaming, if you're doing other pieces of content, maybe you're in a podcast, you can really up-level this with this tool. And again, I'll have an affiliate link in the description. Shout out to OpusClip. They've been a partner with me for over 3 years. Me and Ike over the Can Do Creators community. We have links to that community in the description. We also have what we told it to do. Let's take a look. So I like this. Can you make it just a few seconds longer? And no problem, did it. Now, obviously, I would much rather just be able to drag it, but that's something. Now, this is a good question from Kenneth, and that is, does YouTube recognize the upload as AI created? YouTube's AI policy is ever evolving and changing. So at the time of this video, the AI policy is pretty on point for what they're looking for, but make no mistake, it could change in the future. And if it does, I'll use a YouTube correction. But at the time of this video, which is the main point, the time of this video, if I can say it one more again, in the words of one of my band directors, it says AI use. Was AI used to generate or edit your content in any of the following ways? So here it is. Does it make a real person appear to say or do something they didn't do? AI Producer doesn't do that at this time. Does it alter footage or a real event or place? It does alter footage, but it means in terms of like adding things, not necessarily this. Generate a realistic looking scene that didn't occur. Based on the limited things and definition of YouTube AI things as of this stream, no. However, that could change. YouTube's constantly updating policy, but at the baseline, no. However, I'm not a lawyer. Always seek answers from YouTube officially, and currently it has not had any issues for me. That doesn't mean that won't change. I wonder if AI can take the transcript of a video, then decide how to best recraft the script to make it flow better, thus edit to that. I mean, Beanie, you could tell it and experiment with it. Try this, Beanie. Link in the description. See if it could do that. They are looking for testers, and that's another thing about why we've enjoyed working with OpusClip. If you don't know, OpusClip has a pathway on their website, on their Discord, to become a partner, and their benefits are quite insane. Like, I've never seen a company do this and how they're trying to get people to become, brand partners with them. I really think they're trying to build out and do something that's never been done before. And whenever you're doing something that's never been done before, that is a cool time to be a part of it. And one of the things they're working on is a way to you become an OpusClip brand partner if you're watching. And this might change in the future again. But at the time, you can earn $2,000 a month just by using the tool, talking about it for up to 6 months. That's $12,000 on a brand deal. And as a first brand deal for what they're looking for, it's pretty good. I don't know about you, but out there, if I got an extra $2,000 a month, I wouldn't be upset by that. I do see this. The YouTube AI definition means if the AI puts me in the same kitchen with Gordon Ramsay and makes us make spun sugar together, at least that's my take on it. Yes, but again, Tish, aka the Artist Haven, we are not lawyers. We do not claim to be no better or things like that. So I just really want to be careful in what we're saying. Now, let's say this one, right? In English. In fact, I'll see where the people are watching your content. Now, if you're like me, you might be wondering, how does this work? It shows visual. I love the visuals it gives. And you can tell it, you know, to be a little bit better. You could give feedback on a specific. I also, if I want a broader audience, I could edit this text. Instead of, if let's say I want broader to be capitalized and audience to be capitalized, I'll have to send that back to chat. But if I do, if I want to, I could. It's really cool how much I can do here and not having to always type it in chat. There's still a lot of editability. Now, if this is like anything else they've done with OpusClip, they'll probably add in XML output, which I'm really excited for. They also have a history version. So if I want to go back, I could. That's also cool. I want to check on this because it's still gathering the B-roll. And like, look at this. Very cool as we've been talking. It's going ahead and, you know, putting its spin on stuff. And if you notice, since these are all of this project, it's adding them in different ways. It's trying different things. This is actually the end edit I went with, but maybe I changed my mind. And if you look here, there is some gaps where there's not some B-roll, but what you can see is it's added sound effects. It'll pop in stuff with sound effects. It'll add easy to read closed captions. It adds visuals. And again, I could edit this right now and add all these things, but so far, what takes me 20 minutes to do one, it's added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So again, 2 hours and 40 minutes, what it would take me to do this, it is done in a little less than 20 minutes and it's not finished. But that goes to show how good it is. And, you know, a lot of creators, we use templates, and templates were built by someone else. This is building it from the ground up using similar templates that you can change, stylize. The main difference here is it's doing a lot of this work for you. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that if you are someone who doesn't enjoy editing, this is something that can help you get out more content, and you can learn and get better. You can help it do more. And you can also get better yourself. You can learn these skills. That's the beauty. I'm happy tools like this exist. Because at the end of the day, when more people can share their stories, when more people can do these things, it makes it something that only a certain few can do, and it evens the playing field. I love that anyone in theory can start doing these things. It's a great time. I see the artist Haven says, hence, that's my take on it. YouTube really needs to define that better because not many of us are lawyers. Yeah. And this might be good for touring your IG Reels into shorts. I'm assuming he means turning, but yes, it absolutely would be. And keep in mind, when you're doing this, I know another problem people have is, well, isn't this duplicative content? If you add in this special effects, these sound effects, not so much. And when you clip from your normal live stream, no. When you clip from a normal video, no. But if you upload that same clip 5 times, you make no changes, maybe. And here's the thing, when you add it into a tool like this, and you don't have to use it, you could right now go out and edit it yourself. Even if it just inspires you to do more B-roll and like ways you could do it, and you use this to teach you and learn yourself, that's huge. And I'm happy that this exists. And I'm happy that we have options, because I'll tell you, when I was starting to edit, or when I was starting, it's really incredible to see how far we've come. Now, my video is ready. We've done this. I could tell it to add zoom emphasis and add zoom ins to emphasize key moments. And that's what it's going to do. So now I have it do other things. I could tell it, hey, right now it's pretty static. It's just me talking to camera. But what if we zoom in on key moments for emphasis? That's a huge new edit I could do. And again, I'm talking to a live stream while this is going on in the background and doing this for me. And again, I'm not taking away. I still like doing it myself. I'm still cooking in terms of editing. I love editing. I like writing my own scripts. I like doing live streams. I like all of it. But I don't always have the time for it. And the problem is when you're trying to stay consistent, which is an important part, and you're trying to learn and you're trying to grow and you're trying to figure out what you can keep on your plate versus give to someone else. That is really important. Can the AI do transition effects? Beanie wasn't paying attention earlier, so don't worry. We'll show again. Beanie, if we click here. Scroll on down to transitions. I know Beanie personally, so I'm just giving him a little crap. Yes, it can do transition effects. Transition. So you can see with the plus and the slash, you can also type in slash, transition, and it'll show you all of those. So yes, it has some transition effects, and you can take a look at what all of those are doing here. So to answer that question, absolutely. And look, I'm just giving Beanie crap. He still uses Copilot. Friends don't let friends use Copilot, Beanie. Guys, can we get some, can we get some F's in the chat for Beanie for using Copilot? That's just not okay. Beanie, friends don't let friends use Copilot. I can't. And if you're watching this and you're like, wow, he really doesn't like Copilot. Nah, it's not my preferred. My preferred is pretty much anything but at this point. So it's polishing, it's working, it's doing the things, it's skipped, it's building the preview. I could actually start playing through this a little bit, and like you can see what it's doing. So I think I'll give it, let's listen to it right now. Beanie's asking, should I use Claude instead? Chat's saying yes. Gonna go ahead and mute and play this. YouTube has really been focusing a lot on thumbnails. We recently got 4K. Immediately, I like how I'm like, actually, no. So this, I would say, could be fixed. There's a couple ways I could fix this. When this is ready, I would maybe make this together smaller so that it fits in the bubble better. It's still working on it, so that's something I could do. But you should watch it. And again, AI is not perfect, just like humans aren't perfect. Really been focusing a lot on thumbnails. We recently got 4K thumbnails and now multiple language thumbnails. This is in addition to multiple language audio tracks where you can upload your own dubs or try auto dubbing, which lets your content be translated to multiple languages with the help of some AI. When it comes to multiple language thumbnails, I would probably not do this one, but again, the AI doesn't understand the context. It is very jarring to see this effect over. So what I would probably do is change that. I do like this one though, where it's blurred my background, and maybe what I would tell it is if you're going to do this effect, blur my background and focus on it because it's a little confusing. I do like this. And I think it's crazy because it knows in context of the script that I'm talking about the other languages. So it's got Spanish, Portuguese. This is either Japanese or Korean. It says JP, so I'm going to go ahead and say Japanese. 80% does a really good job. I like that effect. English, in fact, where viewers watch, world audience. It really likes that circle effect. This isn't a bad one. You can see my fish behind me. Really cool. I like this. It's a really cool graphic. And then this one might just be a little too long, but let's go ahead and zoom in. Oop, that's my bad. Oop. Also my bad. So let's hit play. If I want, because I say we all win, I could shrink this, but considering it's already built this preview pretty good, considering, can't complain. And again, it's still polishing, still doing stuff, designing my zooms. It can still do even more than this. And again, I'm also making it play and I'm going through. But remember, if I want to update something, I can screenshot this and tell it, can you make the text better fit within this box? Queuing that up. And then once that's, well, it says it needs to wait to, a task is already running. Once that's run, I will add and queue it. So that's my bad. I'm jumping the gun a little bit. But that video is pretty usable. Now the spoiler is that video is already on the channel, so I probably won't release it in 16:9 because it's already on the channel. But as a 9:16, it is a great opportunity for that piece to live in shorts because all that information is good. And as you use this tool, as you understand these things, you're only going to get better. And whether it's using this or another tool that you want, as I always say, use what works best for you. I'm just here to show you this new option. I think it's incredible. And this is the worst it's ever going to be. So if this is as bad as it gets, I can't wait to see the future and what you out there create. As we say in the Can Do Creators community, watch what you can do. If you're looking for a great supportive community, consider checking us out over at kdcc.social. We have a lot of stuff, and we have a completely free option, and I'll make sure to put that in the chat and in the description. If you are unaware, this is our website. You can see and learn from us. It is free to join. You get a lot of goodies there. And most importantly, remember, if I can use OpusClip AI Producer to cut my YouTube shorts editing in half the time, then you can too. Thanks, everyone. Take care.